Well, good morning. It's a nice sunshiny morning here in Salt Lake City, Utah, in my studio. I'm once again in my garage annex and going to paint for you live. So I hope you enjoy it. For those of you who have joined via StreamYard, I'm streaming to Facebook, Facebook business page, and to YouTube. And for those of you who are watching on this platform, on the right side, you'll see that there's a possibility over here. There's a possibility for you to make comments and ask questions, and I encourage you to do so because it does make the show go more interesting for everybody who's connected. So please do not hesitate. If you have a question or a comment, put them in that comment section. For those of you on Instagram, you know that you can, I believe you can do that as well. I can't remember. It's been a while since I've used Instagram, that platform. So, but if you can make a comment, please do so. I would appreciate it. Somebody's waving to me over here on Instagram, so I'll have to wave back. Wave. Hey. And I appreciate you being here. Jonas, thanks for joining me. Jonas Meyer, as well as Joan. Thank you for being here as well. Joan, I believe it's Smith. Anyway, thanks for being here. Over on the StreamYard side, don't see anybody showing up yet, but who knows? You may be hiding in the wings, which is quite possible. Anyway, this is welcome to my second episode of Wet Paint. So today I'm going to be using both acrylic and oil. And I'm going to start off, I'm going to have to adjust this camera so that you can see the whole canvas for those of you who are on the StreamYard side. But I have this canvas already prepped. Now let me just, instead of looking at me so much, I want to move this down so you can see most of the canvas, maybe just a little bit more. How's that? You can see most of it. What I actually did, and I don't remember the dimensions of this canvas, but I'm going to say it's 2 feet by 3 feet, 24 by 36 inches. And what I did, I, of course, painted the sides of the canvas black, which I normally do. And then I used I believe it's a Prussian blue with a little bit of white added to do an underpainting. And then on top of the underpainting, I actually, let me back up. Before I put down anything else on the underpainting, I actually sketched in a composition that I like. And it's probably difficult for you to see that sketch in, but it's here. It's in kind of a purple. And I sketched that in on a transparent, like a tracing paper. Okay. And then I applied that tracing paper to the canvas that I had just underpainted with the Prussian blue. But in order to do that, I put down a layer of gel, as well as I added some to that gel, added some crackle paste. And again, you probably can't see that, but there are crackles where I added that crackle paste. Some are very, very small and some are larger. It depends on the thickness of the crackle paste itself. And then I applied the tracing paper over the crackle paste and let it dry. Now this has created some wonderful textures that I'm going to incorporate into the piece. Now first, because I want to preserve this composition that I traced on the tracing paper, I'm going to paint that with some acrylic paint to preserve it. And I'm just going to use a Indian yellow, which is very close to, it's close to ochre, yellow ochre. Not quite, but you can see So it's a wonderful color. I love the color. And it's going to dry very fast so that I can paint on top of this uh, acrylic paint with my oils, or paint on top of it. Or but again, I'm doing this more to preserve the shape of the very abstract, very non-objective shape of this composition that I've created. What I actually did, I have another painting hanging in my home that I really like this composition, and I've stared at it and stared at it and stared at it, as we artists tend to do. And then I decided, I've got to capture that on another canvas to make the most of it. So that's what I've done. Now this Indian yellow is somewhat transparent. It may be, let's see, it is transparent. It's not somewhat transparent, it is transparent. So you may be able to see some of the lines showing through, and depending on my camera going out to you, it may make a difference. Oh, I waved at Joan. Okay, yeah, good. Glad you're here. Now, don't be offended if you're on here and you say something to me and I miss it. I very often do that. And I find out about it later. So anyway. Hear that crinkle? Probably not. I'm using a rather small. It's not a big brush. See the size of my brush? Like I say, it's not a real big brush, but I'm using it because it'll help me stay within the lines of this composition that I've drawn. If I used a larger brush, I would have probably a little more difficulty doing so. And I'm putting it on fairly thick. Can you hear those outside noises? Like I said, I'm in my garage. I got the garage door partially open. I can't open it all the way because it would be way too bright in here. The sun is shining from the east, and my garage faces the east. So the sun at this time of the morning would be overwhelmingly bright, and I would not be able to see what I am actually doing. And you wouldn't want that. It wouldn't be interesting at all. This is the first time, I believe this is the first time that I've painted on a Sunday morning. Don't know how many people I'm picking up, if I'm picking up anybody at all, other than a couple of you, Jonas and Joan, who are on Instagram. So I don't know about the Facebook connection. But if I don't get very many, I probably won't paint at this time again. I'm looking for a regular time where people would be more interested and more likely to join my live show at a certain time each week. And that may be of an evening, early evening. And say, for instance, I'm in Mountain Time, and if I did it at 7 p.m. my time, Mountain Time, then that would be 9 p.m. for the East Coast. Don't know if that's too late or not. If you're on the East Coast, hey, let me know. Leave me a comment, whatever. Otherwise, say for instance, if I'm painting at 7, that's 6 p.m. for the West Coast. And that may be too early. Any earlier, say if I went at 6:30, that would be 5:30 for the West Coast. They may not even be getting home from work at that time, especially if they're live in the area of where there's a high volume of traffic. And I think that they experience that most of the time throughout. Well, I know they experience it throughout Southern California, and well up in Northern California too, up in the San Francisco area. It's not fun driving up there, believe me. I've done it. So I'm thinking of extending this on over to the edge. It might look a little bit better if I do that. So just bear with me while I go ahead and do that. Yeah, I think I'm going to like that better. Having it over to the edge. So what do you think of that composition? Kind of interesting. Now, I hope that as I move along, it's going to change colors as I bring in some other wonderful colors. You can see where I've torn the paper, the drawing paper off here in some of these places just to even it up along the edges. But it doesn't matter that it's jagged right now because all this is going to be covered with wonderful, wonderful paint. I say it's wonderful, 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 wonderful. Okay, that's all I'm going to do with the acrylic paint. So let me just close this up so it won't dry out because it has a tendency to dry out very, very quickly. All right. I don't always do this. I usually forget, but I need to put on some plastic gloves to keep my hands from getting totally covered with oil paint. So here we go. I'm ready. And I do have some spray. I use a Gamsol spray, causes some drips, helps the paint move, helps the paint flow on a little bit better. And then I also have some kerosene, which I use, I don't know, kind of frequently. Bernie Reed, Bernie's on here. Bernie says, I like it already. Good morning. Well, good morning, Bernie, to you, too. He's one of my loyal fans, and I do appreciate, Bernie, your being here. So, like I say, let's get started. All right, I got to decide where I want to start. I know one thing I'm going to do. I am going to get rid of that. Let's take this. And what I'd like to do, I like to kind of preserve some of these areas that are cracking with the crackle paste. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to thin down, I think I'm going to thin down some orange with some white. It'll look nice. And a little bit of see, that's going to be a little like it. What do you think? So I'm just going over these edges where I've got the crackle. Down here. Ooh, kind of all over. And I don't want to make this too soupy with the kerosene. So I have to be kind of careful there. But that'll work. Kind of a peachy color, right? Now you can see some of that underpainting is showing through right there because it is a little bit, almost a little bit transparent. I have to be kind of careful there because this is the acrylic is not quite dry enough to paint over it yet. So I have to be just a little careful. Okay, let's see if I've got any crackle paste anyplace else. I think that's probably, no, I do have right up here. Let's get a little bit more of the orange and lighten that up a bit. Those two colors don't go together very well, but then again, like I said, I'm going to be covering this up. Let's see if it's dry yet. Nope, not dry yet. But that's okay. We'll get there. All right. Now I think I'll switch to my knives. And I'm going to start up here with a bit of Prussian blue, because I think that Prussian blue will make this color pop. But that doesn't mean this color will always be there too. I may just cover it up. I have a tendency to do that. Like I say, now I'm using oil, and I have to tell you that I use some drying agents, medium, to help the oil dry faster than it would if I just applied oil. I really like this Prussian blue against the orange. And my knife's not doing what I want it to do. Good morning, there's my wife. Hey, Pam. Here's what I want. Yeah, this knife works better. I just want that edge along here to be in that beautiful Prussian blue. I'm not getting a lot of paint on this, the edge of this knife, and that's the way I want it. Okay. I think I'm gonna, oh no, I see an edge. needs to be covered. Like I say, some of the underpainting is showing through, and I do like it. Now, I think that I'm going to use a bit of yellow, which may turn green. Joni is on here. Joni who? I don't know you. Well, welcome. Thank you for being here. Julie Smith. Hey, hi. She says, hi, Jerry. I love the look of this one. Well, thank you so much. Julie Smith is my friend from the gym I go to. That's not doing what I wanted to do, so I'm going to switch to a brush. I think that's better. But I want a little bit more yellow, and it's not cooperating. There. No. Anytime you put yellow against blue, it's going to turn green. But now, let's see if I can get that yellow right in here. Yeah. There we go. There we go. I may have to go back over that area once it dries a bit, like this right here. There. That's more of the texture that I want. Just smooth it out and make it the green. Hey, it's kind of creating a frame around the composition, which I in no way had planned, but you know, you never know what's going to happen when you paint like I do. All right. Now what do I need to do? Where do I need to go? Oh, I see something. I think I see something. What did I do? Oh, yes. If I could figure out how to put my camera above, like over here, so you could see down, I would do that, but I haven't figured that out yet. You know, one thing at a time. I've made improvements. I've certainly made improvements, but hey, you know, you can always make more improvements. I'm not liking that yet. In the upper, my left-hand corner. On one, it looks like the right-hand corner. On another, it looks like the left-hand corner. Weird. Technology, you know. I'm so glad you all have joined me this morning. This is fun. Okay. I need to let's go over here. That one. I'll try this one first. Switching to the big knife, you know. Love it because you can get a lot of paint very, very quickly on there. Now you see the crinkle of the paper is showing through here. And I don't know if you can see it or not, but it is. And it's creating some nice texture, which I really do like. I like it a lot. So let's get just a tad more of that work between the two oranges. You know, sometimes painting is just a matter of moving the paint around and getting it exactly where you want it to be. Now, right up there, I went to a smaller knife because the larger knife was not doing it. And you can see, now look how that's picking up some of those crinkles again. Let's see, who we got over here? Joni, Amy, we got you on here. DAAB. I don't know who that is, but I'll wave to each one of you. There you go. Welcome. Welcome to all of you. The group is growing, and I like that. I like that a lot. Alrighty. Let's try some of this yellow here. If I stop talking from time to time, it's because I'm trying to figure out what I'm doing or what I'm going to do next. Trying to figure out where this wants me to go, how to respond to it. And that's called intuitive painting. I'm going to color that green up. So. And this is kind of, look at that. I'm picking up some of that yellow along with this phthalo blue, which is creating this wonderful blended green. Aha, look at that. If I scrape it back, I'm picking up more of that green. And like I've said before, if you've watched me before, I don't use many greens. In fact, the only green I've got on my palette is this one I put up here, this yellow green or green yellow, whatever it's called. And that's the only green I put on my palette. The other greens that you see are mixed between blue and yellow, whatever one I have on my palette at the time. And again, I like those blended greens. They're spontaneous. And see, I'm just moving the paint around, making it work for me. All right. Let's try some more of this. And then we're going to bring it down. This is kind of a maroon. You ever painted your walls and your woodwork? Different kind of painting, obviously, than what I'm doing right now. But when you do that kind of painting, you sometimes almost have to stand on your head to get to an edge that you want to get to. And that's what I feel like I'm doing right now. Daniel, welcome, my friend. Would that be Daniel Sullivan? It is. Morning, Daniel Sullivan. Change it to the green. Mixed green again. I don't want that. I want this blue. This nice, beautiful blue. There we go. I'm using some dry pigment. I dip my brush into some kerosene and then dip it into the dry pigment. I'll let that dry just a little bit. I think I like that better than what I had there. Now, before I get too far along, I want to add some light down in here. And of course, I'm picking up some other colors, and that's okay. There. Mixing a little paint here. Mixing up some pink. So I'm getting my big head in the way, right? But I hope you can see what I'm doing for the most part. There we go. And you see what I've done there. Possibly you saw what I've done there. I scraped this back. Give it a little more texture. And blending the colors together. Then I brought what I scraped back, or what I had on my palette knife, back over to this side to bring it along here, which creates a little bit of balance, continuity in the work. Don't know how far I'm going to go with this today, but anyway, you can see how it's coming along. I've got to do one of my favorite things. I got to take some of this paint off. And blend it just a little bit more. See if we can get some drips going out of this. Of course we can. Maybe a little bit too much, but we'll let it go for a while. I think I'll switch back to a brush. Who's having popcorn with this show? Why not? A little early for a glass of wine. I encourage you to have a glass of wine. Maybe I should call this breakfast with Jerry instead of wet paint. Oh, look how it dripped all the way down here. Huh. Well, that may disappear. Ooh. Now see, I don't like that right in there because I've got some bare canvas showing. I'm gonna take care. I have to let it dry well. And that looks kind of bland now. Have that drips on there. Ruby, welcome. I don't like that blue. I'm gonna have to do something about that. This one's dripping, dripping, dripping. And Zagamba, welcome to you. Wave, wave. Thank you for joining. Getting a nice group over there on the Instagram side. See that is now dry. The acrylic side, acrylic pieces. They are now dry. that's not the one I want. This one. I'm just waving at everybody. Don't want anybody feel left out. Don't like that. I know what I'll do here. I think. I know. I'm using a black dye pigment. Dipping my brush in some kerosene, then dipping it into the pigment. It's going to run. Got too much kerosene on it. I like that better. And that blue that I had up there. Let's see if this works. Just creating more texture. I think it's gonna have to dry. So. There. I might be. Oops. My thumb poked through. Maybe I should put on another glove. looks a little small. I'm going to run out of time on Instagram. So if I do, I can restart it. But you might want to switch over to the StreamYard on Facebook if you want to continue watching. Because, like I said, I'm going to run out. Look at that. Okay, that's kind of nice. Nice surprise. Hey. So I want to. Oops, that's a little hard. Here. Use kind of a dry brush on this to bring this down. Kind of loud and annoying, wasn't it? I don't know if I'm still live or not. Guess I am. No, it's gone. It's gone. Okay, I'm back. But all the participants are gone. I lost you. Move over. Move over to StreamYard on Facebook. There's no time limit there. Welcome, Rajan. I'm sure I'm butchering your name. I have a tendency to do that. Welcome, Ocelot. Ah. Well, hello. And I'm about to run out of power on my iPhone, which is the Instagram. So if I do, switch over to StreamYard on Facebook. You can watch all of it. And the rest of it, all I paint. There's that annoying truck again. Oh. Sorry if you have a diesel truck driver, or if you have a diesel truck. I'm sorry. Guess I have to put up a sign in my yard. Quiet. I'm broadcasting live. Hello, Quim. Quim Duran, welcome. I have to say, Quim, I've already warned everybody else that I'm losing my battery power on my iPhone, which is the Instagram feed. So if you want to watch more, switch over to Facebook. StreamYard on Facebook. It should not time out on me, hopefully. Of course, I probably should quit for the day because this is getting rather lengthy. And I'm not going to get it complete today. And it will give this time to dry overnight so I can do some painting over it. I run out of this paint. I have to add some more to finish this up here. Let's see, what did I do with that paint? Oh, here it is. It should be enough to finish up that spot. We'll find out. There. That's a nice contrast. me just get it smoothed out here. Yeah. There. I like it. All right. I think I'm going to quit for this morning for now. Been on here quite a while. Not sure how long, but long enough. And like I say, this will give us a chance to dry overnight. And then tomorrow I can do some painting on top of what I've already put down. You see this up here, I had that blue and I added black, and it's a kind of a dark green, which is kind of interesting. Catherine. Catherine Elegant, welcome. And I'm sorry to tell you that I'm closing up shop for right now because I'm going to lose the Instagram feed because of my battery running low on my cell phone. So I'm going to lose that. I'm going to end this, and I'm going over to my other over to the Facebook, Instagram feed. I'm going to end that as well. And again, I want to thank you all for joining me and sharing in my morning as I've painted wet paint. So look for me again very soon, possibly tomorrow. Forget. I got to do it this way.